By the time I picked up Sienna and we arrived at the restaurant where we were meeting Patrick and his friend Daniel for our double date, my phone had no fewer than 20 new texts from the unknown texter. Around text number 15, I'd programmed the number into my phone as BP. Since I'd always called Nolan ball player, it was safer to use those initials than his actual name, just in case one of my brothers saw the messages. The only person in my family who knew about my history with Nolan Krenshaw was my sister, and she may never have known about him if I hadn't needed her help in gathering the funds to pay off Joel Krenshaw when he'd threatened to sell my nude photos to every tabloid in the country. Rich my family may be, but at 19, getting my hands on $5 million in cash had been difficult, to say the least. Especially when I'd needed to keep the reason for the need for so much a secret from my parents. Just remembering the look on Nolan's father's face when I'd dropped that duffel bag full of money at his feet, and he'd handed over what I'd later realized was Nolan's phone and not his own, made me shudder. There were people I disliked, some I even hated, but Joel was at the top of my list of people I wanted to die a slow and painful death. Once my sister and I walked into the restaurant, our personal security at our sides, I spotted Patrick immediately. Since Nolan, it could be said that I'd developed a type. I avoided anyone even remotely athletic and went straight for the boring, rich, preppy guys. The ones who drove expensive cars, cared more about their looks than I did on occasion, and were overall boring as hell. Patrick was just that. He was a stockbroker on Wall Street, drove a $100,000 car, and was, without a doubt, one of the biggest douchebags I'd ever met. Boring he might be, but he was also a creep. It didn't escape my notice that he barely gave me a once-over before practically drooling over Sienna.